Moving tech-hesitant teachers past COVID. Where do we go from here? How do we keep them from sliding back into their old pen and paper ways? First, we must look at the reasons teachers were hesitant about education and technology pre-COVID. Mostly these fall under the categories of teacher attitudes and beliefs and a lack of tech confidence. Our first category of reasons for hesitancy is based on teacher attitudes and beliefs. Sometimes these reasons are tech related, but sometimes not. They can be general resistance reasons, such as the demands of testing, which are a reality in modern education. We also have veteran teachers who may be resistant to change because they truly believe that their traditional methods are best, or they may just be uncomfortable with any kind of instructional strategy that does not match what they did growing up. And finally, we have concerns over tech dependence. You may hear teachers say that using technology in the classroom will spoil their students or just feed their tech addiction. Or possibly you have heard teachers say that technology has eroded students' attention span and communication skills. Next, we have those teachers who lack technology confidence. This could be due to a fear of tech in general or the amount of time that it would take to learn. We have all heard that teacher say, but I'm not good at technology. Implementing new technology can be frightening on so many levels, whether it's a fear of letting go of control or a lack of the right skills or concern about digital footprint, privacy, or cyberbullying. Many teachers are just scared. Additionally, teachers have limited free time, and the perception is that to become tech aware will take an enormous amount of time and energy. School leaders need to remember that teachers are asked to wear many hats each day, including instructor, mediator, therapist, medic, disciplinarian, cheerleader, and so many more. Additionally, there is a perception of a lack of administrative support. These issues can range from inside the classroom to district-wide. Losing control of the classroom is a major fear of many teachers. But there are also administrative fears of management and liability, such as inappropriate sites, broken devices, and cyberbullying. So if these problems become too large, it's often easy for administrators to create policies that are anti-tech in the name of safety. Now, I want you to think about what would you do if you walked in and saw this, right? I can just imagine your face looks like this because you worked so hard to create that amazing lesson that includes technology, and just when you need it, the internet goes down, or the site won't load on the student devices, or you have so many broken and malfunctioning devices in your classroom that there's not enough for every student. Problems with the digital infrastructure in school districts are a major barrier to successful technology integration. So the other major category of reasons why teachers are tech hesitant is a lack of training or knowledge. These can be a lack of awareness of the available resources or not knowing how to effectively implement them. Now, the RAND Corporation did a national survey on instruction, and it said that the vast majority of teachers cobbled together their own lessons from a variety of sources, including Google, Pinterest, and Teachers Pay Teachers. And teachers often get discouraged when they find that solution, and then they have no idea how to implement it in the classroom. Now let's look at the impact of COVID. This pandemic and how the education system responded to it will now be the new reference point for the evolution of public schooling. There is no going back to a pre-COVID world for public education. So let's look at what we've learned. One thing society realized is that the public education system provides so much more than just book learning. The pandemic has also pointed out glaring inequities in race, disability, and income. Of course, we cannot forget that not all students have equal access to technology, both in terms of hardware and digital competency. The issue of the digital divide remains a significant issue around the globe. Even here in America, extensive problems remain, including the lack of internet connectivity in some locations, especially rural ones, and the competing needs among family members for the use of home technology. Another consideration is also the time, space, and in-home support structure that students need to be successful in in-home learning and homework. Students may be caring for their younger siblings while the parents are at work, or they may not have a proper place to study. Another lesson COVID has taught us about the importance of the student-centered model of teaching, which will require us to change how we look at the role of the classroom teacher. Right now, the teacher typically serves as a resource for their students, but post COVID-19, with a better focus on student independence and proper resourcing, we will be able to better analyze what we are teaching overall. We will identify the underlying skill sets we want students to walk away with and focus more on practical, hands-on application that's easy to transfer to a real-world setting. And finally, COVID-19 has taught the world the importance of educational technology, a paradigm shift that is like a genie that is now out of the bottle, and I don't think you can get it back in. In many respects, this is overdue. Once upon a time, we had a classroom with rows of seats, blackboards, textbooks, and a teacher. Many of schools and districts are still continuing with the same old traditional methods, but COVID-19 has shown us that there is another way. And those teachers who made it through this crash course in virtual teaching are finding that those types of lessons endure. Next, open educational resources must be prioritized. The forced scramble for materials and platforms that we've seen during the pandemic poses a great risk to the teaching profession and its autonomy, and could have serious consequences for the futures of education. Also, moving teaching online is significant. It ultimately changed one of the most important unwritten school rules, that all students must be in one location for education to take place. School systems in America are not done with remote learning, even if simply as an option. Now let's look at the reasons. Okay, now that we have looked at the reasons that teachers were tech hesitant or resistant before the pandemic, and we have looked at the lessons we learned from COVID, now moving forward, how can we best support those teachers that still have concerns and discomfort when it comes to fully integrating technology lesson plans? First, we must start before the teachers ever enter the classroom with better integration of educational technology instruction in teacher preparation programs. But what can the educational technology field do to help teacher educators develop an understanding of how to integrate technology? We must ensure that pre-service teachers' experiences with educational technology are program deep and program wide, rather than a one-off course separate from the methods courses. And then also having a support team that's flexible and available to struggling teachers is crucial for any tech rollout. They especially benefit from coaching in the classroom with students. Coaches can model lessons with the students, co-teach with the educators, and remain on call as the teachers attempt to use a technology tool or strategy for the first time. And for the next step, we must ensure that leaders understand the digital pedagogy so that they can help teachers employ those resources effectively in the classroom. Even with the best professional development, some teachers will still struggle. Support them, encourage them, celebrate their willingness to try new things, focus on the learning by the teachers, and share in their successes. And finally, we have professional development. Effective training will be crucial moving forward. The learn to be a pilot while the plane is flying approach may have been necessary for the spring of 2020, but it is indefensible in 2021. Instead, we need sustained, rigorous, and job-embedded professional development. As such, it is essential that the professional development provides educators opportunities to become effective users of real and pertinent tools that they can employ in their particular subjects in their classrooms. Also, shorter, more frequent sessions that include plenty of time for guided practice and end by providing a well-developed lesson or activity that can be used immediately upon returning to the classroom would be the most effective. But beyond just getting support for technology, administrators are increasingly seeing that leaving teachers out of decision-making conversations affects not only the students, but also the entire school environment. Administrators can take steps to avoid such consequences by actually listening to the teachers, what they want, and helping to work help them work through their hesitations. Thank you.